In Texas, a new kind of infrastructure is quietly taking over. Not oil rigs, not wind farms, data centers. They power everything, from your messages to streaming to AI. But behind that convenience is a growing demand for something far less visible: energy, water, and space. Texas has become one of the fastest growing data center hubs in the country, and it's not by accident. The state offers cheap land, relatively low energy costs, and no state income tax. Local governments also offer major tax incentives to attract tech companies. And geographically, Texas sits at a key crossroads for internet traffic. So for companies, it makes perfect sense, but for communities, the picture's way more complicated. Data centers don't just store information, they process it constantly. And that creates heat, a lot of it. To prevent overheating, that heat has to be removed continuously. Many newer facilities are shifting to closed-loop or air-cooled systems, which reduces water usage compared to older designs, but that doesn't eliminate water demand. Even closed-loop systems still require water for support, maintenance, or peak temperatures. And in Texas, peak temperatures aren't rare, they're expected. Some facilities still rely on evaporative cooling because it's more energy efficient, but that comes at the cost of higher water usage. So there's a trade-off built into the system. Use less water and draw more electricity, or conserve energy and use more water. And either way, the scale is massive. And now, AI is accelerating everything. AI workloads require far more computing power than traditional internet use. That means more servers packed closer together, running hotter, and that drives even more demand for cooling, energy, and infrastructure. This isn't just growth, it's exponential pressure. And this isn't just happening in major cities. My hometown, San Angelo, Texas, is now part of this expansion. A new data center is being planned there. For a smaller city, that kind of project can sound like a big opportunity. Investment, development, growth, but the reality is more nuanced. You see, San Angelo sits in a region that regularly deals with high heat and periods of drought. Water availability has always been something the community has had to manage carefully. So when a large-scale, resource-intensive facility moves in, it raises important questions. How much water will it use over time? What happens during extreme heat? And where does that water come from during dry periods? These facilities don't employ large numbers of people once they're built, but they do create long-term demand on infrastructure. For a city like San Angelo, it's not just about growth, it's about sustainability. Across Texas, communities are starting to face the same decision. Data centers bring investment, but they also bring long-term demand. They're less visible than traditional industries, but their impact is constant. More strain on power grids, more pressure on water systems, and often fewer direct jobs than people expect. So the trade-off becomes harder to ignore. Short-term economic gain versus long-term resource stability. What's happening in Texas is a preview of something bigger. The digital world feels invisible, but it runs on very real resources: land, energy, water. And as more towns like San Angelo become part of that system, the real question isn't whether we need data centers, it's how much we're willing to give up to keep them running. If you enjoyed this kind of quick deep dive on how technology is shaping the world around us, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more.